Hey yo, and what's up, wrestling fans? I am the Batman, and I heard that Bane made an appearance on tonight's Monday Night Raw, and unfortunately I was unable to make it down there and take him in the ring the way that the Batman can. And unfortunately you had to sit through another 3 hours of absolutely terrible television brought to you by the WWE, and it's unacceptable. It is unrepairable, and it is to be expected from this moment on from the WWE. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dean Ambrose wants to come out and play cosplay as Bane. I figured I might as well don the mask of the Bat and try to have some armor to protect myself from the absolute shitstorm that came at us tonight once again from the Raw creative team. Even being dressed up as Batman couldn't save me, and the Dark Knight himself wouldn't be able to save you from tonight's absolutely continued succession of garbage that we have to suck down and try to enjoy, which is nearly impossible when we're talking about Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys all for checking in. Hey yo, and what's up, gang? My name is Nick Nightmare. I am not Bruce Wayne, and I am not the actual Batman, although sometimes I think I am. And you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. It's time, even though I dropped this, to bring the hammer down on this piece of shit show. So let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Oh my God, you guys, my brothers and sisters. I had no choice, man. I had no choice. The WWE gave us Bane tonight, or Darth Ambrose, however you want to see it. They tried to do something interesting tonight, and in them trying to do something interesting, they actually just threw fucking pie in their own faces and in our faces, because this company is lost. This show is lost, and it should be expected by now. Did you guys really think tonight was going to be any different? Did you have some inkling of a hope that we were going to make some kind of a sharp turn tonight? And that Monday Night Raw was going to see the light, and that Triple H was going to tell Vince McMahon, Dad, take a vacation. I got this next week. Watch and see what I can do. And did you think Triple H was going to bring in Aleister Black, and the skies and the heavens would open, and all of a sudden Monday Night Raw was going to be a red version of NXT? Because if you thought any of these things, then you're an imbecile. I know you didn't think any of these things because you, my friends, have a brain. You are brothers and sisters in the Sledgehammer Club, which is a club that resides specifically for people who do not want to be treated like absolute idiots. Look at the situation they had with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. The one little moment of tonight that might have actually had your interest for a moment or two. Okay? This whole thing started off kind of interesting to me. I like Drew McIntyre. I've always liked him. I just hate the way the WWE continues to just fail him at every level. This guy should already be at the top of the card. He should be bigger than what he is. He shouldn't be latched on to Constable Dickhead Baron Corbin. He shouldn't be latched with Dolph Ziggler, nor does what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler make any sense. Do you give a shit about Dolph Ziggler? Did you ever give a shit about Dolph Ziggler after 2009 or so? Of course you didn't. But here the WWE have a prime opportunity to make you give a shit about Dolph Ziggler, and they opened up a little package and wrapped it up and closed the whole door on it in one fucking night. You had Dolph Ziggler come out, confront Drew McIntyre, essentially turning babyface in the process, which babyface Dolph Ziggler sucks as it is. But if you would have had Dolph Ziggler approach the ring, get his ass decapitated by Drew McIntyre, get a Claymore kick right across his buffad head, boom, right? And leave Dolph Ziggler laying in the middle of the ring. Drew McIntyre standing there gloating, I never needed you. You were holding me down, yada, yada, yada. All that shit he was saying, which was pretty accurate, which was pretty entertaining, and I piqued my interest for a bit. But then we have the match tonight. There's no suspense. There's no reason for you to give a shit about Dolph Ziggler. Instead of the WWE doing the right thing and extending these things over a couple of weeks and planning past beyond the TLC pay-per-view, maybe wrap this thing up at the begin, or start this thing off at the beginning of 2019 and have their match at the Royal Rumble or something like that. Do something creative, and every single week have Dolph Ziggler try to gain some measure of vengeance on Drew McIntyre and fail. Have Baron Corbin fire Dolph Ziggler. Have Dolph Ziggler kayfabe fired from the show, and then coming back, attacking him from outside the ring in his street clothes, breaking into Monday Night Raw. Then the crowd would start to get behind him. Oh, look at fucking Dolph Ziggler's crazy. He needs to get back at Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is an unstoppable mountain of a man. He is the mountain, like he wanted to say, right? He is. The guy is fantastic. And this angle could have been good. But instead of doing any of the things that I just said, the WWE just wrapped it up in one night. And then, to make matters worse, they give the win to Dolph Ziggler. You are clearly in a situation where you are trying to paint Drew McIntyre out as the next big thing. And you want to kick this off with the first loss that this guy has suffered on Monday Night Raw since coming. And you want to give it to Dolph Ziggler. For what? For what? It's a continued misuse and mishandling of a primetime talent like Drew McIntyre. How long is it going to be until Drew McIntyre follows the road of Bobby Roode? Bobby Roode, rest in peace on this 3rd day of December 2018. Mark it down. It is the death of Bobby Roode. Bobby motherfucking Roode. The glorious Bobby Roode. The former NXT champion. Bobby Roode. The former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Multiple World Tag Team titles. Beer Money. Team Canada. Bobby Roode is way better than the WWE has painted him out to be. And the fact that this man had his shoulders pinned to the mat tonight by a guy that weighs about 25 pounds soaking wet, who's barely as tall as a 6-year-old boy, a man that was compared to a G.I. Joe action figure by Hurricane Helms on Twitter this evening. Why is Bobby Roode wrestling my G.I. Joe toys? And he lost. I don't give a shit that the authors of Piss came down and helped him secure this victory, that Chad Gable was beaten up in the back. All you did was destroy everything and anything that is Bobby Roode. Mark it down, you guys. Last rights. I just read them to you. The hammer is down on the career of Bobby Roode. It is over. Why would you give two fucks about Bobby Roode from this moment on? He was just pinned by Drake Maverick. And why is he coming out without a robe on? Do you want me to believe he doesn't have another robe? I've seen about 12 of them this year. He wore how many different fucking robes with Charlotte Flair? This blue robe, like I said in my last week review, it was so special to him that he can't even put on another robe. It is so disdaining to him. It's such a stain on his soul. He has been pissed on, and now he can't get over. I don't even want to get dressed anymore, Chad Gable. Oh, no, Bobby, but we're the glorious ones. You got to get dressed, Bobby. You got to put on your robe. I can't. I really wanted that blue robe, and little Drake Maverick peed all over it. And now what am I going to do? I got the white one, and the red one, and the gold one, and the green one, but I only wanted the blue one. Does nobody else think about these things? Am I an insane man for giving a shit about the fact that Bobby Roode was absolutely murdered tonight, and on top of that just continue to be made look like an asshole with a stupid decision by not having him come out in another robe? I'm not an idiot, and the guy's not fucking poor. The guy's made money. He's got more clothes. I don't give a shit about his robe. And neither should he. Nor should he give two shits about Drake Maverick. He should be focused and solely intent on wrestling away the tag team championships from the authors of P. But no, this is the fucking Monday Night Raw we get. Just complete rehashes, another shaken up script from last week because they came out looking like fucking roses last week. You know what, boss? You wrote such a great show all by yourself last week. Let me tickle your balls a little bit while you tweak it so that we can have this week's show. It'll echo sentiments of last week, and then we'll actually, you know what? That fan Q&A, that interactivity segment with Alexa Bliss, the girls fucked that whole thing up last week. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again, and we're going to make it even worse by making it even more fake and more phony than you could imagine. We're going to have 4 goons in the fucking audience. We're going to have 4 idiots out there that work for the WWE in some way, shape, or form, dressed up and pretending to be fans. Where were the rest of these 4 for the rest of the evening? Did anybody see the goofball with the fucking muscles with the weird hairdo, or the broad with the red hair for the rest of the night around ringside? Of course you didn't, because they had to go back to work. They might have been the fucking popcorn guy from the arena they were in Texas. Hey, put this shirt on and ask this question. Pretend you give a shit. They weren't good at that. These 4 plants had about as much charisma as a snail. Sasha Banks and Bayley, if you had a superpower, what would it be? What? What? This is a fan Q&A. If this is an actual fan, and that's the actual question that this retard wanted to know, then he should be ejected from the WWE Universe permanently. Because this guy had to be at least like 30 years old. Why didn't you give that question to a fucking 8-year-old in the audience? What the fuck does a 35-year-old man give a shit about Sasha and Bayley's preference in superpowers? And then they give some bullshit, ridiculous answer. Oh, I wish to make people disappear, and I'm going to start with Alexa Bliss. What, are we on fucking Arsenio all of a sudden? This Jerry fucking Springer? Or are we watching professional wrestling? I forgot. I don't know where we are anymore. We're talking to phony fans, asking bullshit questions, all for them to come to the end of this thing to finally mention on television, oh, we want to be the first women's tag team champions. They're going to bring these fucking belts into a women's division that is an absolute shambles. They don't have one solid women's tag team built up with the exception of the Iconics and, God forbid, the Bella Twins. Those are the only 2 legit teams. You can't tell me the Riot Squad is a legit team. You have not seen Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan be a cohesive unit as a twosome, and that's it. No, it's always the 3 of them. You know, they're the female New Day. They're the Riot Squad. Pfft. Gives a shit. They're not viable competition. Ember Moon and Ronda Rousey? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's not a tag team. Nia Jax and Tamina just began, and nobody wants to see them as it is. Why would you want them to be the forefront of the women's tag team division? They're barely even a team as it is. Tamina can barely move. This girl should be counting her blessings and thanking her lucky stars that she was born into a family that Vince McMahon just loves so much. Because otherwise she should have been gone a long time ago, too. I used to pull for Tamina Snuka the same way I used to pull for Nia Jax, and now the 2 of them have combined. They actually did something that I suggested that they do with these girls months back on this show, and as they do, they turn this thing into a complete bullshit thing. What other 2 girls are there that are a viable tag team? Naomi and Asuka? Lana and Carmella? I'm waiting. Somebody let me know if I'm leaving anybody out. Instead of wasting your time doing stupid segments like this, you should be building a women's tag team division. Have pairings that make sense. Have them start to give themselves a little bit of unity. Dress alike. Stay together. Give themselves a catchy little nickname. Not something stupid like the Boston Connection. Sorry, guys. I still can't get it out. It's just so fucking lame. The Boston Connection. Not gonna go over with me. I don't give a shit. These are 2 of the preeminent singles wrestlers in the women's division in the entire world, and you want to pair them together and use them to kick off a tag team division that nobody's going to give a shit about. Who's going to take the belts from Sasha and Bayley? Awful. Fucking awful. What's their plan here? To do the Four Horsemen thing and have Sasha and Bayley as the tag champs, Charlotte as the Raw Women's Champion at some point, and then Becky as the SmackDown Women's Champion, and they'll all have all the gold. Even though they don't fucking deserve it. Except for Becky Lynch. Sasha Banks deserves more than a tag team division. She should be the one standing in there opposite Ronda Rousey right now, not Nia Jax. Awful. The show continues to just be dog shit. And since we're talking about the women, let's go on to Ronda Rousey. At least her makeup game was on point tonight. The girl didn't look like she had the fucking T-virus. Okay? Her skin complexion was nice. Her outfit didn't seem to be tripping her up. And her makeup game was alright. So she didn't hurt my eyes. Maybe they heard my complaints last week. Maybe the girl actually said, hey, you know what? This guy's got a point. I got to tell them to keep the red and the yellow off my face. She came out looking like a star tonight. With the exception of all the people that were around her. You have her in the beginning of the show, and you're going to hear a lot of people on YouTube, oh, the show started out okay. The show started out with a solid segment. No, it didn't. Because it's being focused around the wrong women. Nobody wants to see Nia Jax as it is. They made this whole entire show very woman-heavy. It seems as if Roman Reigns is gone, they're just going to try to center everything around the women's division. Which would be okay if you were giving me shit that mattered. But no, you want to set up Natalya and Ronda versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Sure, okay, fine. Maybe on paper that looks good. Maybe the way they set it up looked good. And you probably got excited. Monday Night Raw was starting off with an actual fucking matchup. Holy shit, we're going to see some wrestling, right? No, of course not. The Riot Squad comes out, puts the kibosh on the whole thing, puts Natalya through a table, so everybody gets all hype, right? Oh, that was a good start. Maybe things are good. No, not to me it wasn't. I didn't see anything good about that. Natalya's overacting in the back, trying to sell the table injury. Like, her table injury is worse than any other table injury you've ever seen in your life. And then Ronda Rousey getting in Alexa Bliss's face, telling her, I want this match. We're going to have it later on tonight, and I'm going to find somebody to be my partner. Now I'm a little bit intrigued. I'm like, okay, the WWE can do a bunch of things here. The biggest thing that I was hoping for was that even if it was just for this one night, the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, one of Ronda Rousey's legitimate best friends in the world, stands side by side with the Raw Women's Champion and sticks up for her best friend and takes on these two Samoan superwomen. That would have been a reason to get excited about Raw. You could have started planting the seed for the horsewoman feud that they're so set on having at some point. You got Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch going at it on Twitter. In the midst of all this shit, you could have played into this a million times. And then she could have went right back to NXT. She don't have to be up on the main roster always. But this one moment would have made Raw feel special. It would have made Ronda feel special. It would have made Shayna look like a superstar. And it would have put Nia Jax and Tamina in their place. But instead, that's not what we get. We get them putting Ember Moon. Do you know why they chose Ember Moon tonight? I'm going to put you in on a little secret in case you happen to be of the camp right now going, I still don't understand why they would choose Ember Moon. They've had little to no interaction with one another. Does Ronda Rousey give two shits about Ember Moon? When was the last time we seen them on TV together? When was the last time either one of them uttered each other's names? I don't remember it. I don't think it ever happened. It may have happened, but it might have been right at the beginning. And who cares? Who the hell cares? Ember Moon was put as Ronda Rousey's partner because they were in Texas. They were in her hometown. She was the hometown girl. They were looking for the hometown pop and couldn't be more lackluster. You couldn't have been more underwhelming. And I hate saying that about Ember Moon, but this is the WWE's MO with Ember Moon. They know she's great. They know she's going to give a good match, so they're going to insert her into a position where her existence doesn't matter. She could have literally been anybody. What she should have been was Shayna Baszler. And Ember Moon should be embroiled in her own program against somebody else somewhere on this card so that they could be building her towards the future. But instead, she's getting thrown into this mix of not underrated, but subpar athletes in professional wrestling. And I'm including Ronda Rousey. She still has a ways to go. She's definitely not as bad as she was when she first stepped foot in the ring, but she still, to me, does not come off as a Raw Women's Champion. She should not be the Raw Women's Champion, yet she should be burning her way through the roster, one woman at a time, with interesting storylines, weaving her way towards WrestleMania, where she should have won the WrestleMania main event, being crowned the Raw Women's Champion. Or having her go against SmackDown's champion and unify the women's division into one floating division with one meaningful championship. But this is Raw. This is the WWE. This is not what we get. This is not what we get. I do my best to try to stay positive. I was not of the mindset that we were going to get anything any better at all. I'm not silly. I knew we were going to continue down this road of trash. But I try to stay positive. I try to keep things happy. Look, we got the fucking Christmas lights up because it's the holiday season. But the WWE just wants to gift us with garbage. With shit show after shit show and Baron fucking Corbin. It's like getting nothing but fucking coal in your stocking Christmas morning. And every single coal you pull out has his ugly fucking bald constable dickhead right on the middle of that coal nugget. You see his stupid bald smirk. And you want to crush it in your hand, and you wish you had the strength in your hand to turn it into a diamond because it makes you so mad you feel like the Incredible Hulk. But there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. We could come here, all of us intelligent people, and have this conversation and talk about how bad Monday Night Raw is, and how if you enjoyed it, I don't know what the hell kind of drugs you might be taking, and if you are taking said drugs, please let me know what those drugs are. Is it exclusively called the anti-Raw drug? Because I want in. I want to enjoy wrestling again. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. You guys, next week, don't expect anything to change. Don't expect anything to change even next year. This is the state of the WWE as we know it. And nothing will change until the old man steps down. And I don't think that will ever happen. Let's run down the official list of this show as my ranting has gotten out of control. And I think we'll probably rant again as we go down the list. I'm sure I forgot to pop off on something. We had the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, with Natalia versus Nia Jax and Tamina. But we talked about that. The Riot Squad ruined all that. We had the open forum with Sasha Banks and Bayley, where this was just a long and drawn-out, boring-ass, ridiculous, nonsensical segment to lead us into another tag team matchup. So we had 2 women's tag team matchups booked to open Monday Night Raw. And this matchup was no better than the first one. Bayley and Sasha Banks defeated Alicia Fox, which I'm not even going to go there. You guys, if you have been a fan of mine, you know my stance on Alicia Fox. If you don't, go back to other reviews and watch it because it's all there. I don't want to waste any more airtime on Alicia Fox ever again. But they're going to make me talk about her next week again. I'm sure of it. I'm fucking sure of it. Alicia Fox and Mickie James, right? I'm tired of seeing Mickie James in the ring with Sasha Banks and Bayley in any sort of combination. And then they were accompanied by Dana Brooke. So even if they switch Dana Brooke off with Alicia Fox, you're pretty much trading one bad wrestler for the other. Mickie James and Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke don't even make sense as a tag team, as a team. Dana Brooke was just standing up for herself a couple of weeks ago. She was turning babyface, and now she's back to being a bitch. I could care less. She still looks like a walking sausage. I don't give a shit about her and her giant duck lips and her stupid blonde hair or who she's sleeping with to get these spots and how she still has a job. I don't care. I don't care. So her being outside did nothing for me. Her being involved in this did nothing for the match. Why was she out there? just to get paid for tonight's show. Not everybody deserves to be on every show. What are we doing? Interchangeable, awful females. It didn't matter who was in the ring and who was on the outside. This team was awful. Of course, Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to win, especially after they go, we want to be the first ever women's tag team champions. I can't. Friggin' fans that ask these questions. Let's talk about these questions. I got them over here. Kind of. Let's see. Bayley asked blah, 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 blah. The first fan asked, you know what, fuck it, who cares? Because the questions were so stupid. It went from the superhero question to who is the legend you would like to face the most. All stupid questions. If I was in the fucking crowd and they gave me the mic, I would have been like, Sasha, why do you still work here? Why haven't you left yet? How much longer do you have on your contract? Bayley, do you think the WWE has pushed you in the right direction ever since you came from NXT? Do either one of you or both of you wish you were still in NXT? These are the fucking questions that needed to be asked. But no. We got, this is the one I wanted to address. We got fans going, did you hear about the rumors of Sasha Banks using Bayley on social media? What social media is this guy reading? If you guys follow Sasha or Bayley on Twitter or anything, you know that they have been the fucking best of friends on social media for the last year. Even when they were doing that shit with Dr. Shelby, you could tell that they were feigning to be mean to one another. They were trying to portray WWE villainy against one another, and it was coming off disingenuous because neither one of these girls have hatred for one another. It's being manufactured by something the WWE thought they could recreate and capture that was way back from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which will never be duplicated, never be recreated, especially while they're both on the main roster. This is what you want to waste these girls doing. Fucking awful. Absolutely awful. Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night is this evening. Okay, and we touched upon this already. Everything that went down with Dolph Ziggler. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. We had a Baron Corbin video package that aired, and I immediately wanted to switch to Monday Night Football. However, instead of doing that, I enjoyed writing a couple of pages of Mad Libs with my daughter. We decided to have some fun with some Mad Libs while they were talking about Baron Corbin and all his accomplishments and his ascension to General Manager-elect. The only thing I want to elect is to have the person fired that hired Baron Corbin to begin with. That would get my vote. You can elect that. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. We had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable ask for their rematch with AOP. And then we had this 3-on-1 handicap match between the Lucha House Party and Scott Dawson of the Revival. So instead of seeing the exact same thing we seen last week, they just took one of the Revival out of the equation. Scott Dawson comes out talking shit, telling the Lucha House Party, tonight we're going to have a one-on-one match. And I'm going to show you guys what it's like to really be in the hands of a technical wrestler. And then right before the match starts, they announce this match will be contested under Lucha House rules. There's so many problems with this. This is how you're going to use and initiate the Lucha House rules, which are not the same at all as the Freebird rule that the New Day like to use to their advantage. This Lucha House rules is an absolute heel gimmick. You're doing it with 3 guys you got coming out to the ring with the fucking piñatas, which is a stereotype, I would think, which is kind of offensive, if you ask me. You got these 3 guys, the Lucha House Party, coming out as the Spanish version of the New Day, and then breaking all the fucking rules. Why does every match have to be a Lucha House Party's rule match? That's not the way it is. And this particular gimmick would lend itself tremendously to a villain group. Because it's them ultimately always giving themselves the advantage. This is not something you want to do with a group of baby faces that you want to build up having to overcome some sort of a challenge. You got them effectively ganging up on everybody that they're opposing. That is not what good guys do. I don't give a shit where the rule is based out of. And then you got Michael Cole and Renee Young and Corey Graves just fumbling and tumbling all over each other because they don't even fucking understand what the Lucha House Party rules entail. It's cheating. It's bullshit. And the fact that for the third week in a row, this is what we got to see, it's lazy. It's irresponsible. And it's disrespectful to the Revival at this point. At some point, these guys should have got a win back. The Revival might not be your favorite tag team in the world. You may be one of those people that say, fuck the Revival, and that's okay. That's okay. Everybody's opinion is respected on this channel. You're allowed to dislike the Revival when you watch my show. You're free to feel how you want and bring your own hammers down on whatever you want. But this is just disrespectful to them. How do you have a team go 0-3 in such a fashion, consecutively, without giving them a little something? They've been shit on all year long. This is like the last straw. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks puts a tweet out there on social media before the end of the night that says, one day, the Young Bucks will wrestle the Revival and the world will rejoice. No truer words were ever spoken. And that's kind of cryptic if you ask me. We've been hearing rumors of a lot of WWE contracted talent looking to get out and go join the All Elite Wrestling Company that's supposed to be popping up somewhere along the lines of next year, being bought and owned by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they're hinting towards the fact that the Revival is waiting for the day their contract expires and they are going to go down there, they are going to change the game the way they were meant to change the game in the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division. Only they're going to be doing it for some other promotion. And it's going to be fucking great. And we will be there when it happens. Believe me. But instead, on Monday Night Raw, they get beat down 3 weeks in a row by the Lucha House Party. A team with no momentum other than the fact that they keep being allowed to beat the Revival. Awful. Absolutely awful. Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night began. I really could care less about this whole thing. As soon as Baron Corbin comes out, I go back to sleep in my head. I'm not really listening. He's got a box with him. I was hoping that in the box was going to be Vince McMahon's head, but that's not what we got. I thought maybe for a minute it would be some sort of a ring, a commemorative ring. I don't know why we're giving Drew McIntyre anything. They haven't really accomplished shit. Baron Corbin's just celebrating the fact that Drew McIntyre's got his back tonight and protected him from getting his ass beat from Braun Strowman. So he wants to go out and get a Raw Gold Medal of Excellence since Kurt Angle's not around and we don't have a gold medalist. So we're throwing jabs in at Kurt Angle, which makes me afraid that he's going to be brought back into the equation at some point. And now we have Drew McIntyre with the Raw Gold Medal of Excellence. There shouldn't even be a gold medal name with Raw in it at all. Not given to one specific person, not given to a fan. Gold Medal of Excellence and the word Raw do not deserve to be in the same sentence, in no matter what subject of it you're talking about. The only medal they should be getting is the shit-stained medal of failure for the lack of creativity and for the few times they do try to do something different, completely dropping the ball like they did with this McIntyre segment. Drew McIntyre was articulate and he was good on the microphone. He said what he needed to say. And then when Dolph Ziggler came out, things took a little bit of a different turn. He got a little bit more vicious with his words as Dolph Ziggler seemed to bow up in the face of Drew McIntyre, only to end up in a match. And then the match started off with McIntyre clearly in control, looking like they were just going to squash Dolph Ziggler, and that would have been fine with me too. If you wanted to give Drew McIntyre a big win and then have a reason for Dolph Ziggler to be pissed and want to gain some measure of vengeance for taking the loss tonight, then everything would not feel as bad. But you had Dolph Ziggler pull off the win and kill whatever you just built in the same night. Now the world is made to think that Dolph Ziggler can easily beat Drew McIntyre no matter what Drew McIntyre throws at him. Drew McIntyre is the one that needed to be protected. He's the one that needed to be ascended to the next level. And one of the ways that he could have did that is with a nice clean victory, extinguishing the newly babyface Dolph Ziggler. Giving him momentum, giving Dolph a reason to fight back, giving the fans a reason to get on the shoulders of Dolph Ziggler if they want to see him overcome the mountain, Drew McIntyre. But that's not what they did, man. They killed it. In the same exact segment. They made you go, oh, this might be interesting. No, just raw bullshit. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't give a shit that Finn Balor was involved in this whole situation. It didn't mean a goddamn thing. In fact, it made even less sense. Just because they're going to have a match in the future, why would Finn Balor come out to smile, show everybody his fucking teeth and his grin? Look at me, I'm smiling. When in fact, if you wanted to make some sort of an impact and have him cause a distraction that would cost Drew McIntyre the match, he should have came out as the mother freaking flippin' floppin' demon. Why is Drew McIntyre give two shits about smiley, shiny, happy Finn? Awful. I can't take it anymore, man. I really can't. What else do we got here? Blah, blah, blah. Drew McIntyre called the win tainted and said Ziggler has been living off his potential for 10 years. And he's been trying to reach the top of the mountain. But McIntyre is the mountain, and I will come crashing down. I thought he was going to bust into Hogan's song. It comes crashing down and hurts him inside. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little carried away. I'm fucking tired. Raw makes me crazy, and that's what happens on a Monday night. And that's why you guys come here to be one of my sledgeheads and have fun at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Elias! Elias! Who wants to walk with Elias? I do. I always do. And the WWE stands for wrestling without entertainment. Okay? Because there was nothing that entertained me. And if you're going to keep giving me the same old tired segments, and you're going to have Elias come out for about 60 to 90 seconds, play a few nice bars on his guitar, and then promise to sing us a song only to have the man, Bobby Lashley, come out because y'all know what time it is. I'm Leo Rush and it is ass time. Bobby Lashley, show your ass. Everybody show your ass. They are continuing with this same tired routine. The fucking bending over and showing his ass is just getting worse and worse every week. I know I say it repeatedly. That's because Raw does it repeatedly, and they cause me to be a repeat episode at times because he keeps just being infantile and juvenile. And who is laughing at Bobby Lashley bending over, doing his best Ace Ventura impression, singing Asshole Mio to the whole fucking world, showing his stupid, disgusting glutes to everybody in the ring, and that seems to make Elias get so red hot. I don't understand. This jerk-off wants to bend over in front of the world. What's he getting so mad about? Oh, Bobby Lashley's showing me his ass. And Leo Rush, everybody show your ass. Elias, why don't you show your ass? All the fans, you show your ass. I fucking hated it. I hated it. It meant nothing. It meant nothing. Elias took offense to Bobby Lashley showing his ass. Charged Bobby Lashley, ends up getting his ass beat for it, chases Bobby Lashley off the entrance ramp, and then comes back to smash Leo Rush with a guitar right in the back of the friggin' cranium. And that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. And that was it. Elias goes to the back, and it's over. We're going to see Elias versus Trashley, Mr. Awesome Bobby Trashley. Or what the fuck is he calling him now? The Almighty, right? The old milk dud. Get the fuck out of here. One match at TLC that I won't be looking forward to. because Elias will probably lose that too. Jinder Mahal, oh, thank God we had to see Shitty. Back together with his two little people friends. Fan-fucking-tastic. He wants to take care of Finn Balor for Constable Dickhead. This is what we have for Monday Night Raw. This is the greatest opponent we got for Finn Balor. Shitty. My God. Awful. Then we had the supposedly what was going to be one-on-one Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode turned into a 3-on-2 handicap match. All of this happened within the course of fucking 3.5 minutes. That's how important this is, and the Raw Tag Team Championships are, and Bobby Roode is to Monday Night Raw and the creative team. 4 minutes, barely, to wrap this whole thing up. Bobby Roode gives Drake Maverick a glorious DDT and went for the cover, but the AOP made it. They made it into the ring in time to break up the cover, only to end up hitting them with the Super Collider, and then they tagged in Drake Maverick so that he could get the pin on Bobby Roode. And now apparently Roode and Gable don't get a tag team championship shot, and I could care less. They congratulated John Cena on winning some meaningless Sports Illustrated award. Fantastic. The fuck is he winning awards for? He's not even doing anything anymore. He's making movies. Since when do you get given prestigious awards for doing nothing? What did he do to earn a Muhammad Ali award? You want me to believe that John Cena isn't even near the same category as a great man like Muhammad Ali? Get the hell out of here. Just like Titus O'Neil wins some other award tonight. An award that I don't really know what it's for. It's like Nia Jax's meaningless E award. Who cares? What is Titus O'Neil getting awards for? The only thing he should be getting awards for is being the worst. On Monday Night Raw. He's a great person, apparently. And he does great things in his personal life, which is fantastic. Good for him. And maybe he deserves all this praise. But why are we talking about it on Monday Night Raw? Why do we give a shit about John Cena winning a fucking award Monday Night Raw? Guy hasn't been on Monday Night Raw in a fucking year or more. Who cares? Let's forget about John Cena. He's gone. Let's forget about him. Just like I wish I could forget about Dean Ambrose and his Bane impression tonight. Darth Ambrose comes out to the ring. The fucking gas mask and the Bane jacket. Talking shit about Seth Rollins. It immediately lost my interest. I don't know why. I don't care. I don't care. They made it completely disinteresting. Got Dean Ambrose talking about people with their stench. He can't rid himself of the stench of Seth Rollins. Nobody gives a shit. He's breathing into the microphone through the mask. Darth fucking Ambrose. Seth Rollins comes out just to end up eating a dirty deeds to the outside. Dean Ambrose stands tall in the end. Corey Graves wants to accuse Renee Young on the announce desk of knowing what's going on and holding back information and trying to cause some shit with Renee Young. I don't know if that was scripted or if that was a little bit off the cuff because Renee Young seemed to be really pissed off. I don't know if she's that good of an actress. If she is, kudos to you, young lady. You're a fantastic actress. If not, then Corey Graves is a disrespectful asshole and needs to know when not to go over the line when going off the script. That remains to be seen. I'm sure we'll hear something or not. Well, the WWE will take this and just throw it under the rug. I like the fact that Corey Graves wanted to address it. I just think he went a little bit too hard. And the fact that he was stumbling on what he was trying to say makes me believe that it wasn't written. So he was going off the cuff and was trying to censor himself while speaking so he didn't fuck up too bad. Absolutely ridiculous. I really could care less. I really did not like the siren added to Dean Ambrose's theme song. I liked Dean Ambrose's music initially, but now it kind of feels like something that I heard from the Sanity music. I feel like that was a Sanity thing. The sirens playing in the background with the choppers and the whole thing. In fact, when it first started, I thought it was the Riot Squad coming out, which made me even more mad. I'm like, oh my God, they gave the three most annoying girls the most annoying song in the world. Now what is this? Sounds like a riot horn. Sounds like the Purge is about to begin. Then you got fucking Darth Ambrose coming out. I really didn't give a shit. Here, I have this written down here. After the break, Graves pestered Renee Young. Let's talk a little bit more about that. To tell us more about Ambrose and stop short of telling her to do your job. He's going to be like, do your job. Renee Young fired back. Listen, no one is entitled to know what goes on behind closed doors between a husband and wife. How dare you? All right, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it, but that one sentence, that one line isn't going to make me go, wow, tonight's Raw was better than, at least it was better than last week. Renee Young said some cool shit. It's not how it works. Then we had to listen to an awful promo from Nia Jax and Tamina in the back. Oh my God, was this bad. Nia Jax is about as paper can be. Her delivery was awful. And then she wants to scream into a lunatic. She screams so loud into the mic that my TV speakers popped. They didn't pop that they didn't break. But you know what I mean when they make that crackling sound when something maybe just a little bit too fucking loud? Screams like a friggin' child. Mine! Sounded like one of those friggin' birds from Finding Nemo. Mine! Mine! You know, the seagulls. Mine! Mine! Fucking Nia Jax, man. Awful. Awful. Oh, and then there's this. We have Heath Slater and Rhino. Heath Slater. Heath Slater and Rhino being forced to go one-on-one for their position on Monday Night Raw thanks to Baron Corbin crunching the numbers. Wasn't that Dana Brooks' job, the statistician, to crunch the fucking numbers? You got him standing there, 5, 15, 22. What are you, a fucking high school quarterback, or are you the Raw general manager? What are all the numbers? Who gives a shit? Oh, by my calculations, there's only room on Raw for one of you. What? What? What, is that them admitting, tongue-in-cheek, that the ratings are dropping so bad and that because of the stock is plummeting so dramatically, we have to get rid of one of you guys? Instead of taking you, turning you into a viable tag team again, you were only the first ever SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, and since then you've done absolutely nothing. Heath Slater's got kids, goddammit. No, instead of trying to fix the tag team division, instead of trying to make more teams, trying to make a team like Heath Slater and Rhino that actually have been together for a while and could actually get over once again if used properly. You're going to split them up. You're going to fire Rhino, which makes Rhino probably the happiest guy in America right now. He's walking around free as shit. He's probably spraying squeezed cheese down his throat, throwing bologna sandwiches up in the air, catching them in his mouth. I'm free. I don't have to be on this piece of shit show. I'm going to miss Titus's catering. No. That's why I got fried bologna sandwiches. Whoo, cheese squeeze, ha ha. That's how he's probably celebrating right now. Maybe he's sucking back a whole 6-pack of brew. Thank God he's free. I wish I could be as free as Rhino is. But I have to be here for you guys, and I would never let you down. So they thought so much of this, and they thought so much of Rhino and his career, which has technically been over since the early 2000s anyway, that he was defeated by Heath Slater in a minute and 6 seconds. Isn't that worth your time? Absolutely not worth anybody's time. Finn Balor defeated Jinder Mahal. This was absolutely grotesque to watch. All of a sudden, Apollo Crews decides to come out and help Finn Balor. I don't know why. Maybe they have matching smiles. Maybe Apollo Crews is in the back, sees how nice and big his smiley Finn buddy is. Look, he's got a big smile like me. I'm going to go out there and smile with him. Throwing the sing midgets around like that's supposed to impress me. You should. I could throw them around. That's not impressive to see Apollo Crews do. And why is he going out there helping Finn Balor? Or is this just him leading into a feud with Jinder Mahal that nobody wants to see that? Awful. I hate this show. I hate this show. Charlie Caruso was backstage after this match. Finn Balor got his win and then went to the back and got his ass beat by Drew McIntyre, who attacked him from behind during an interview segment with Charlie Caruso. The referees had to step in and pull this whole thing apart. McIntyre finally backed off and then jumped back in, started beating his ass again, and then finally the referees would get him away, and then we would go to a Lars Sullivan video. They want to keep hyping this guy up, going, oh, Lars Sullivan is the greatest acquisition, the WWE, the biggest, most anticipated free agent signing ever. Why? What the hell does the WWE Universe know about Lars Sullivan? You know what I know? I know he's a great talent. I know he's going to be fantastic. I know Vince McMahon's jerking off to him in the back. Can't wait to get his disgusting 73-year-old uncreative hands on him and ruin him. And I also know he's not ready for the main roster. I also know the main roster is not ready for Lars Sullivan. Not the main roster talent, but the main roster writers. They're going to fail him epically on every level. But why is he the most sought after? He's not even a former champion. He's done nothing. He lost to Aleister Black. He had a great match with Keith Lee. I mean, what has he done to be so highly sought after? Nothing. Nothing. Let's be honest. Why do you gotta lie and make everything sound so much more grandiose than it actually is? Then we had our main event, Ronda Rousey and Ember Moon defeating Nia Jax and Tamina, where Ember Moon stuck out like a sore thumb because she was the only girl in there holding this whole entire match together. But this whole thing was inconsequential. It didn't mean a goddamn thing at all. Ember Moon gives Tamina an eclipse, and Rousey would then apply the ugliest armbar I ever seen. It's as if Tamina didn't want to give her her arm, and she just kept it bent in. And then the girl just tapped. She tapped before it was locked in. Everything is fucking awful at the end of this show. You got Ronda Rousey and Ember Moon standing in the middle of the ring, triumphant at the end of this thing after Ronda Rousey got laid out at the beginning of this thing, and it was just a little bit too much for me. This segment was not good. It was not good. It really didn't do anything for anybody. This show didn't move anything forward. This show did absolutely nothing. It did exactly what it did last week. And you know what it did last week? This show did nothing but fucking suck. And we got a repeat performance here tonight. Thank you guys so much for enduring this fucking review. It went long tonight because they really pissed me off. We had a lot of fun here tonight, though, as well. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode, make sure that you officially join the membership of the Sledgehammer Club. Become one of my precious brothers and sisters in this army and this family that we are building here on Sledgehammer TV by hitting that subscribe button right now. Follow us on Twitter, at Nick Nightmare is the handle. You could also check us out and support us on Patreon if you like. Check us out, look us up over there, Sledgehammer TV. And we also have Audible. Do not forget about Audible. The official sponsor of this show is offering a free audiobook and 30-day free trial to fans of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/SledgehammerTV and get your choice of over 180,000 books, whether you're into wrestling, sci-fi, nonfiction, maybe you want to learn a new language. They got some Spanish-speaking books, Italian, French, whatever you want. Go check it out right now and make sure you let them know that we sent you there by using our link, audibletrial.com/SledgehammerTV. Thank you all once again for being here. This fucking show is never going to get better, but at least we have each other. I am happy to have you guys as part of this family as we continue to grow day by day, trying to get that next 1K and hit that 2,000 before 2019 decides to get here. And we could get there by an awesome wrestling fan like you, a smart, knowledgeable one that I know you are since you watched this whole entire thing. Hit that subscribe button right now. Make sure you smash that like button with your sledgehammers at home so that I know you enjoyed today's show and the world knows you enjoyed today's show. And then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they hated this fucking show tonight and see it for what it was and need a cool place to vent and need a cool guy like me to help lead the charge against the disgusting filth that is the WWE. I, my friends, am Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the snowball microphone, and of course, you guys, the most important members of my team, my Sledgeheads. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Yeah. That's just a little treat for any of you guys that made it this far. That's going to do it. We will see you next time. Have a great night. I hurt my throat there, and I did it all for you guys. Have a good one.